Hey everybody, it's Liz with Abyss Paranormal, and tonight we have Bryan John Laverty. Say hi.
No intro. I thought there was at least going to be an intro.
No, no, but you know what though? Matt said he was going to make me one because he was
Oh,
on the
that's
last
awesome.
one, and he said I think it drove him nuts too.
That's awesome because Matt's good at that. Matt, I don't know if people know this, but Matt did the intros for Global Ghost Hunt last year.
Oh yeah, yeah. He
Matt,
kind of gave us a glimpse of this year's too on the show, and
mm,
it looked fantastic. Of course.
okay, well, you got more info than I do because I haven't seen that.
Oh, it looks great, Bryan. But he's so hard on himself. He was
Oh, I
immediately, he's
know.
like, "Oh, I know it can be better." And I'm like, "It looks great." I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah,
So,
yeah. We released a video. What was it? A week and a half ago? I think it was a week
yes,
and a half ago. We released a video about
that might have
Global Ghost Hunt this year.
that
That
actually might have been what he actually
Yeah.
showed.
Oh,
I
okay.
get him
Okay.
confused sometimes, because there's so
Yeah.
many
No, that's
videos to
okay.
keep track of.
So, yeah, that we released that last week, and it was great. You know, um, no issues. I thought it was good.
Now that's the logo though on there, right? That was purple with the swirls and stuff that we were talking about.
No, the new logo is actually on. It's actually on the Global Ghost Hunt Facebook page.
I
And
must have just missed it.
actually, in fact, well, it's got global, and then it's got ghost. It's got a line, then it's got ghost hunt, and then right on the side it says 2025.
Okay. I'm going to
So
the page right now so I can.
okay, so I actually uploaded a post today of a little bit of a funny of the global ghost hunt. I think it says global ghost hunt made me EVP my pants.
Yes. I see that. That's funny.
So
Okay.
that is actually going to go on a shirt. So if
Oh,
people are interested in that, that's actually Melissa, who's taking care of our merchandise now. Melissa, who's part of Rootless Destinations, which she's now changed her name. It's not Rootless Destinations anymore. It's something else now. I can't. She's going to kill me for not remembering her name. I think it's Dimensional Destinations. I think it's called
oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah, she still has Rootless, but now she has another group. It's called, I'm sure it's called Dimensional Destinations. And if
Okay.
I get that wrong, and if you see this video, Melissa, I'm so sorry.
It'll be okay, I'm
I'm
sure of it.
sorry.
There's
I'm
so many
sorry.
to remember, just like me with the videos. I'm
Yeah,
like, which one are we talking about?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So do you
but
see the
yeah,
logo now?
I did. Yes, I saw it. So it's with the line and the 2025 on the side, and
That's correct.
yes, it looks
That's
good.
the new logo that is going up on the new site, and that's going on the shirts on the back of shirts. So people are interested because what we were doing before is if you wanted to specialize your shirt and put your own team logo on it, the
Hmm.
Global Ghost Hunt will go in the back and your team logo will be the little icon on your chest.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
If that's how you want it. If you want it completely different, that's up to you. That's the that's what we do. If you want something a little bit different, we'll send it off to Melissa. She will do it and it will be done if you that's the way you want it done. So
So I had this idea for a shirt,
okay.
right? And it would need a continuous update, so it might get a little costly. But there's concert tees out there that has like the logo, their band logo up there, and then it has the tour dates, right? I
Okay.
thought about what if we put Global Ghost Hunt on the back of a shirt, and it specifically says, like Abyss Paranormal, and it says the tour dates,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
date where we've been and
That's
that
actually
sort of
kind
thing.
of cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But
I thought so.
the where it would get costly is you would have to keep on ordering it and
Yep.
putting something else on it.
At
So
least yearly. Yep.
that's cool. That's cool. What we're trying to do, what we're trying to figure out with the company that we're using is we're trying to get a better deal.
Mhm.
If somebody needs to order like 10 shirts, we're trying to get a better deal. So a better discount deal, especially if somebody's ordering 10 shirts. I think there should be a deal,
Right.
so, or if they're ordering hats, we have a beanie up on the new site. So if people like beanies, you can order a beanie. Um, we're just trying to We're just trying to do things. We're just trying to do things a little bit different. We're trying to, when it comes to merchandise for some people is very personal. So if they want to put their team logo on the back and put the Global Ghost Hunt icon on the front, it's completely up to them. And that's the advantage with us, with
Right.
Ghost Hunt. If you want to personalize it your way, we'll do that for you. So I know some companies, they won't. This is how it is. If you don't like it, then don't order it. Well, we don't feel that way. So
right.
it's funny. My dog Max, the other day I was doing an interview and he was doing the zoomies on the couch. French bulldogs are very known for doing their zoomies. So he was scratching away, and I think it was Rob who said, "Did you guys hear that voice? Did you hear something? Was it a scratching or a voice?" I go, "No, that's my dog in the back."
That's funny.
Well, the funny thing is this dog, like, I love Maximus. He's a fantastic dog. He really, really is. He's cute. He's a French bulldog for the people out there. But he always needs to be beside me. Always, any room I go to. So before I came on live, I was in the bedroom. He was sitting on the bed. I was doing something in the bedroom. He was in the bedroom. I come to this room. He follows me to this room.
Right.
It's like everywhere.
I have one dog over here, and then the other one is sitting in the kitchen, obviously to cool off because it's pretty warm. It's amazingly warm here right now. But see, I just mentioned dog. Here she comes. I was gonna say, but she's just staring at me. She's like a little creeper.
I wanted to get an opportunity to share this out. I got a notification that you just went live. I wanted to share it out. I'll share it out when I can. You're on YouTube. You're on mainly YouTube, though. You're on Facebook as well, because I got a message through Facebook that you were on.
See, and that's what's the thing is, like I said, I'm still trying to figure this all out. We will be having a group meeting coming up where we're going to be discussing actually investing more money into this so that like I can, because Matt told me about some things that I can do or whatever to help improve this sort of, setting. Of course, it requires like monthly subscription to things or whatever, and I can't afford to pay for that out of my own pocket. So we are going to talk about it as a group because we as a group are very large. And so in order to cover the cost of things, we just do monthly dues that everybody has to pay so that we can pay for everything. So,
well, from what I understand is, I'll let people know that we're going to be using Restream for Global Ghost Hunt this year.
Oh, okay.
But the great thing is it will give us another channel to post to, because we'll be able to post to TikTok now. Because we can go live on TikTok because we have the number of followers that you need to go live. So, so we're going to go live.
I didn't even know that was a requirement. I no idea.
I don't know if it's a third party. I don't know if you can hook it up to a third party to TikTok. I don't know, but I know you have to have 1,000 subscribers to go live. We have that on the Global Ghost Hunt Facebook or the TikTok page. So we're going to be using TikTok as well this year for the Global Ghost Hunt, which will just skyrocket not only the TikTok page, but it will skyrocket the number of users that are in the room watching. So, because and for some reason, paranormal investigations on TikTok are quite popular. But the only downside to it, and this is why I'm a little hesitant on doing it, but we need to do it. But it's like one of those. I don't know if I want to. The problem with TikTok is you get a lot of trolls in TikTok. So what we'll have to do is we will have to have a couple of moderators during all the lives just to make sure those people are either kicked out or silenced. So
my dad, he's a skydiver, okay? And he made a TikTok channel that went viral quickly. We're talking like 35,000 followers or something like that in just no time. And he said the same thing. He's like, you get so many just crazy people messaging you, commenting or whatever, and all this other stuff. And he finally just shut it down. He just couldn't take it anymore. He said it's too much.
Yeah, what he could have done is gotten a couple of people that are regulars in his videos
Hmm.
or his lives. I don't know if he was doing lives. I'm
He
assuming he
didn't.
was.
No,
Oh no, it was just videos.
he was just uploading videos of his skydives and stuff. So
Okay, well he could have just muted his comments, because you don't
okay.
have to have comments. You can mute them on videos, but it's better that you do have comments, because that will help the algorithm and it will push out your video more if more people are commenting on your video. So, but I get it. But so what we're probably going to have to do, like I said, we're probably going to have a couple of moderators for each show, each
Mhm.
investigation, just to silence the crazy people, so to speak,
Yes,
or the
but you're right.
trolls. There's a
Like
lot of bots too. There's a lot of bots as well.
yes. But you're
So
right though, because I've noticed on TikTok, like there's this niche, for the paranormal or whatever, and those people they get the views. Like, I mean, on your For You page, you get all the stuff or whatever, but it's not as big, it seems, as the paranormal.
yeah.
You go to one of their videos, and I mean, and half the time though, you're sitting there going, you know, okay, did you pull that drawer open? You know what I mean? Like, they don't give
Well, it's
enough
funny. It's
context.
funny. It's funny. I was watching one guy, paranormal investigation. I was just sitting here going, "Oh my god, can't believe people are falling for this." So, and they were. He had all the balls on the floor.
Hmm.
He had all the balls, like the balls that light up. He had a couple of other things that lit up as well. But if you noticed, his floor was wood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And every so often, if you didn't listen for it, you wouldn't know it was there. Every so often he would tap the floor, and the floorboards looked like they were old. It looked like an old house. So the
Yes.
floorboards were old. So every so often, and I listened for it to see if
Yep.
he was doing it, and he was. He was
Yes.
doing it. He was tapping the floorboards and the lights were going off.
Yep.
Now the good thing for him was all the lights wouldn't go off, only a few, and they would
Oh,
always be separate.
so that it gave him some sort of validity, it
Yes.
seems,
So
for the inexperienced.
what I think he was doing was he would tap on one floorboard and then he'd move over to another floorboard and tap that one.
Ah,
So, and if
gotcha.
the ball was on that floor, he just knew what he was doing. But the thing that killed me is he had something like 15,000 people in the room, and they were all believing this crap that he was spewing out. Finally, I spoke, but I wanted to speak. I did mention something, but the chat was going so fast
There's no way he
that
could do it.
there's no way he was going to read it. But I wanted to send him a message the next day on one of his videos and, just call him out.
Right.
But saying, you know what, dude, like it's people like you that gives real paranormal investigators a bad name.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I didn't, I should have, but you know, like, like I've said about YouTubers as well, I have no problems with YouTubers and that are faking videos. Well, I do, and I
I
don't.
do.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. At the end of the day, yes, I do have a problem with them, but I sometimes have a problem with people that are watching that are so gullible that this is going on. They're to blame a little bit as well.
You're right.
Um, but you know, and I get what they're doing, but my whole thing is YouTube should restrict it, and it should be something in the description saying this is entertainment only.
Yes,
But how do you control that? You can't control that.
you can't.
I don't know how they would control that, but I always tell people this: you can tell a real faker. If you're unsure, you can tell a real faker really right away. If you go to all their videos and you see that they're catching something in the first 2 to 4 minutes on every single video,
But
that's a faker.
or somebody who always catches something. I
Yes.
myself, it drives me crazy sometimes. Just be like, "You mean to tell me that I went on this investigation, I saw not one damn thing, but you go on one 12 times and you caught something 13 times." I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. It's a hit and miss,
What it is, and hey, listen, I give credit to these YouTubers that have 7, 8, 9, 10 million people, because they're doing things right to get those people sucked in.
Yeah.
And I described it this way on a podcast. It's like a TV show. You know, at a TV show, you got to start right here, and then you got to build, and then it comes back down. It's almost like a
Yeah.
roller coaster, right?
Just like
And
a
that's
story.
what these YouTubers are doing. That's
Yes.
exactly what they're doing, along with the streaming and the oh my god, you know, like that kind of stuff. But and that gets into it. But um, but at the end of the day, you know, they're working. They work hard as well. They work hard.
They work
They
harder than
do.
probably we do. They have to put
Yeah,
a lot of stuff in that.
yeah. They got to. They do. And you know, it's funny. There's two famous YouTubers that are. I'm not going to mention their names because every time I mention their names, I get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I get a message from a fan,
Hmm.
and it really lays into me. So there's two people on YouTube right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of a story,
Okay.
and this is how fake they are.
Hmm.
Okay, I will say this: they're two guys,
Are they
and
by any
hey,
chance
they're
brothers?
they're young guys. They're very good looking guys, and I won't take that away from them. I say that in a masculine way. So
We don't
I
judge.
did I did the Old Angel Inn in Niagara on the Lake. I did an investigation there. It's one of the oldest restaurants and hotels in Canada. It's been open since I think 1875.
Okay.
It went no, sorry, that's wrong. 17 1775. It's been
Okay.
open because the War of 1812. It went through the War of 1812. And that's where its history comes from because there's a spirit of a sergeant. I think it's sergeant or captain. No, captain that was killed in the basement there because he
Okay.
was in love with the girl that worked in the bar, like
Okay.
every other guy that likes a girl that works in the bar.
Yes.
So
Of course, she's in love with all of them too.
he was in love with her. She wasn't in love with him. It was
Right.
one of those. So
Yes.
even back then they were teasing men for bigger tips. So
Because it's my husband and I talked about this just last night. It
yeah,
is the oldest profession. And yes, we women got it figured out. We know what
yeah.
works.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So he was killed in the basement because the Americans were told to attack the bar,
Okay.
to attack all the buildings in the area. So they did, and he went there to see her,
Hmm.
and then that's when the American soldiers took over the bar. So he ran downstairs to the basement and hid in one of those big wine barrels.
Yeah.
Well, the military went down there and started stabbing all the wine barrels. Well, he was in one of them and he got killed.
Oh crap.
Yeah,
Okay.
crappy way to die.
I
So
know.
I hope he had a good drink before he
I
died.
was gonna
But
say,
anyways,
hopefully he was drunk and didn't really
yeah.
feel it.
So we did an investigation there. We did an investigation for 3 days there because we filmed a documentary there, and which still hasn't come out, but hopefully eventually that will come out. That will be on Paraflix, by the way. But
Okay.
so the reason I talk about this place because these two guys that are big famous YouTubers went
Hmm.
to this place,
Okay.
and you will know this person from TikTok. I believe her name is Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo, like the little girl.
No, not Honey Boo Boo. What's her name? She's a famous TikToker. I think she goes by Honey something or Boo Boo something. I don't know. Anyways, she took them there.
Okay.
So they investigated there, but the general manager walked around with them
Okay.
and stayed with them all night.
Oh. Okay.
Well, they told her that there's going to be certain things that they're going to do throughout the night that is going to help the video.
Oh my! Just brazen is what that is. Like
Yes. So at one point in the basement where I got activity, like they didn't need to fake it because I got activity when I was there. We actually
Right.
captured EVPs. We actually captured SB7 stuff. We captured a lot of stuff in there.
Right.
So they didn't need to fake it, but they did. So at one point in the basement, all of a sudden the flashlight turned off. Well, before that flashlight turned off, they twisted the flashlight so it would turn off.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, also, all of a sudden, they stopped in their tracks and they started yelling and screaming. And the general manager was standing there. By the end of this investigation, she was so pissed. She wanted them out
Did she kick him out?
because they.
Oh,
She basically
sorry.
kicked them out. She basically told them to leave
I'm so
after the
sorry.
investigation. No, 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 it's okay. So
You keep going. I'm gonna try to get her a hush real quick.
yeah,
Everybody listen.
so they were doing things throughout the night that they were faking, and they were making the video. They were making the video. You know what I'm talking about? That so throughout the night they were doing all these weird little things to that they needed to do that they do in all their videos to make people watch their videos and hook people into their videos. So they were yelling and screaming. They would stop in their tracks. They would say, "Did you hear that?" when there was actually nothing going on. And these are two famous guys. And if I said their names, everybody would know who they were. And so I got full proof from this general manager that they were faking their video to make their video better. And now what they do also is, I think what she found out also, they tend to fake more videos if they're not capturing anything.
Oh, so they do actually do put some in like real stuff.
So that could be if they are capturing stuff, then they will show it. But most of the time, 98% of the time, they're faking their videos or they're making their videos a little bit better. And again, if I said their names, everybody would know who I was talking about. They're that popular on
already
YouTube.
know. I don't know their names, but I've seen like it seems like they're, if it's the same group anyway, or the same guys.
Can I give initials?
Go ahead. I'm sure that
I'll give initials. That's all I'll do after that.
Okay.
It's S and C.
Gosh. Okay. And I don't watch enough YouTube to know. All I do know is there's these.
I will let somebody put that in the room, and then if they put it in the chat, then I will give a thumbs up.
And we are indemnified from ever mentioning their names.
Exactly. But no, the general manager was quite upset that they did this because their whole marketing thing for this restaurant and hotel is their stick.
Mm-hmm.
They bring people in because they market they're a haunted restaurant and hotel, which they are haunted. And if you go to their website, Old Angel Inn in Niagara on the Lake, if everybody did that, you will actually see that they captured a spirit on their security camera.
Wow. Okay.
And it looks like a soldier. It looks like, the jacket where it had the cross buttons on the jacket. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it's on their website, and it's really, really super cool. Like, it's an amazing capture. And so the place is haunted. So they really didn't need to go in there, and there you go. Old Angel. So you didn't really need to go in there and fake stuff because the place is haunted. At one time of the night, I was sleeping in the room and the door handle started shaking.
That's awesome.
And there was only 4 of us there, like me, 2 camera people, and an audio person. And I said to everybody, "Were you guys walking throughout the hotel?" No, because I actually heard somebody walking in the hallway. Nobody left their rooms all night. So the place is haunted. Fantastic. But they didn't need to fake.
I know. And that's the thing that bothers me. Especially, I mean, like, especially because it's for monetary gain. I mean, like, if it's already haunted enough, you don't need to fake it. But secondly, more than anything, it does give everybody this unrealistic idea of what it should be about, and so, and I was saying this to Matt the other day. I think a lot of people have this unrealistic idea of what paranormal investigations are to begin with, But then you get somebody up there who are very like, oh my God, or whatever. And
Yeah.
everybody thinks everything should be scary. When in
And that's
fact,
what they do. That's what they do. That's what all these fakers do. And
yeah,
it's fine. Like I said, they work hard, and it's shitty what they're doing to our business, but I wouldn't say business, I would say our field. It's crappy. It's really hard for us to advance in this
yes,
field with them continuing doing what they're doing,
exactly.
because the state or the government looks at it as a joke,
Yep. Yeah.
and so we really can't advance. Like, I'm sure there'd be a lot of teams out there that would like some government funding, to maybe go to certain locations or maybe help build a location, but they won't do it because
Right.
they all think it's a joke.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people out there that are into the scientific end of the spectrum when it comes to ghost hunting, and
Yes.
they would love to have government funding, but they can't get it.
Be fantastic.
They
Yes.
can't get it, and and it's not all because of what these YouTubers do, but it definitely doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
So,
Exactly.
but it is what it is, and it's a battle that we continually fight every single day. So,
Which is why we have Global Ghost Hunt, right?
which
So we
is
can
why
get
we
the
have
real
Global.
idea out there.
So, I love it when you hear hard sole shoes on wood floors. On the floors are covered in carpet. Yeah, so do I. So do I. I do. I put a video up a week ago, and I put it up a few times on Facebook. I put a video up a week ago. I was in front. We couldn't get inside, so we were on the outside. Now, the apparently the outside's more haunted than the insides, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
which makes
So,
sense too, though, right? Because I
what's
mean, if
that?
it was through the War of 1812, it would make sense.
No, no, I'm talking about another location now.
Oh, okay.
So, another location. I can't recall its name. It's not too far from here, but I went to this place, and the outside is haunted, quite haunted. You hear a lot of different things. So I was with somebody else, and what's really funny about this clip, if you watch it, we wanted to find out what people were experiencing there. So she looked it up and she started reading it.
Right.
And when she said footsteps, all of a sudden we heard footsteps go right in front of us. And then there was right behind it, there was a white mist.
It's crazy.
Right when she said footsteps, we heard footsteps. It was nuts. And obviously I heard the footsteps. She thought it was maybe an animal.
Yeah.
So I came back and looked on I listened to it on my laptop. That was
Uh-huh.
definitely not animals. And then you see that white mist go by. It was not, it wasn't, it wasn't cool outside. It was warm. I believe
Mhm.
it was in the summer. So I don't know why white mist would be
Right.
going by in the summer,
No
but
breath.
it was super, super cool. Like one of those moments. So I totally agree with, I'm assuming that's Vicky that said that, Abyss Paranormal.
Yes. Yeah. That one's
Yeah.
big.
So hey, listen, it's those moments where you go, this is why I do this. This
Exactly.
is why I do this. But I'm the type of investigator, I like to find the answers.
And that's
Yeah.
I think that's really kind of a lot of our approach, I think, or whatever. But I know Ruben and I, that's what got us into it in the first place, is we
Mm,
want to know what is it we're supposed to be looking forward to. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You have a lot of different theories, especially when it comes to like a religious aspect or whatever. There are very specific realities in their world of what to expect. But then you can't explain though, how do we still have the remaining energy? How is
Mm,
it still that it's here? And some of them
mm,
go to heaven, some of them don't, or whatever. What's in between? What is that?
yeah. Yeah. I have people in my life that are non believers.
Hmm.
Um, they don't believe in any of that stuff. They don't believe in heaven. They don't believe in any of those things. When somebody dies, they're either in a box or they're in a box under the ground, and that's it. There's no
Yeah.
soul. There's none of this stuff. They don't believe in any of that stuff. And, those are the people that I love trying to convince
So
that
that's
this is
Ruben and
real.
me. Ruben and I,
Mm,
we are
yeah.
ourselves are atheists.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the transference of energy. I do
Yeah.
know that scientifically it's already been proven that there are multi dimensions and that energy cannot be killed. You know what I mean? It just can't. So that's always my question is how is it some energy stays behind and some how do some do not? You know what I mean? Like how's
Mm.
this picked and chosen? You know?
My personal belief, and I'm sure you've heard this, when somebody stays behind, I think it's because it's unfinished business.
Do you do believe that theory?
Yeah, I do. I believe it's unfinished business. Then I believe the people that are earthbound, if you want to say earthbound, people that weren't not necessarily nice people.
Right.
I think they tend to stay earthbound. Now it's interesting. I know somebody that went to a medium
Mhm.
because she needed to find out some answers. Um, 30 years ago, her brother left home and never returned.
Okay.
And and obviously the family was, devastated, distraught, whatever you want to call it. And then her father died when she was quite young, so she wanted to find out the answers. Now the interesting thing what this medium told her, and this was probably 9 years ago, and it kind of made sense when this medium explained it. Obviously, I wasn't in the room. I wasn't allowed in the room because then you cross energies and stuff like that. And she could be reading me instead of reading her.
Yes.
But anyways, she told her that her brother basically died when he left home right away. It
Oh,
wasn't he was basically gone within a day or two.
um,
Parent, what's
Brian, give me just a second. My restream is to, I've never seen this come up before. It says to activate chat, please enable channels here. Have you ever seen something like that?
no, no. I see all the chat coming through.
Yeah, because I haven't seen anybody not, and it still says 5 viewers. And I just clicked on it, and it took me back to stream back out to YouTube, and I did, but it
Okay,
still says it. So I
that's
guess we're
weird.
okay.
Maybe if they can message saying that you can still see us.
I don't know.
Can you still see us? Can you still see the live? Somebody say yes.
It seems like it takes a second to get through, though. Somebody does say anything
Yeah. It
because it
still
did.
says live in the corner.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it still says we have 5 viewers even. But right
Mm.
before it did that, it said something along the lines of hold on just a minute while we reconnect you to your channels.
Oh
And then
wow. Okay.
it said that what I said about the
Is that
chat.
gone? Is that gone now?
It's gone. Yeah, but still
Yeah.
nobody said anything. So
Well,
um
maybe we should go over to your YouTube and check it out.
oh,
See if we're
Jonathan says
live.
we're here. Joe says we're here. So we're good.
Okay. Okay. So what was I talking about?
Um
Um, I lost my train of thought.
oh my god, I'm so sorry. What were we talking about? Um
Oh. Hello. What was I talking about? That's weird. Let's move on.
somebody needs to
Somebody
remind us.
remind us.
Yeah.
That's weird. We
My
both
brain
are,
went straight to that message. I'm like, what is this? What am I
yeah,
doing? What does that mean?
totally thrown off by your message saying it
I
wasn't live
know.
anymore. So I'm sure I'll remember it. So it just shows our age, right?
Right. Exactly. So old. Oh my gosh, it's catching up fast.
That's funny. That's funny. I don't know what I
Um,
was talking about. Wow, that's weird.
well, so one of the
I
things
must
I
have
did
been rambling. That's why I don't remember.
this is really honestly, this is like the most I've ever seen you speak. I'm really like, wow, look at him go. Atheism. We were talking about
Yeah.
about trapped souls, atheism, and
Oh yeah,
people.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, so oh yeah, I
Oh, the
remember what I
brother
was
of the
talking about.
mediumship.
Yeah, so the medium was able to talk to her father, and she found out that her brother basically died within 1 or 2 days, and
Okay.
apparently her brother died of a blunt object hitting his head. So apparently he
A
was
lot of
basically
detail.
killed right away. But what this person was told, I found really really interesting, because her father was such a great man, such a kind man, well loved by everyone.
Mhm.
And then the brother, who was always in trouble with the law, was running with the wrong people. Obviously, he got killed. He was massively into drugs. And I believe he was even a seller, which in that country, if you got caught selling, you were killed because this country is Iran, right?
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but what the medium told her, what I found very interesting, your brother's upstairs, if you want to say upstairs, your father's upstairs. But what's happening is they both know they're there, but they're on different realms.
See?
See, your father is up here because of who he was through life. Your
Mhm.
brother's on a lower realm because of what he did through his life.
Okay.
So,
That
is that a possibility that whoever you are through life is where you're going to be in that different realm? Possibly.
That's
It's a
something
good,
that Ruben and I talk a lot about
yeah,
too. And one of the another religion that kind of follows that same line though, but believes in reincarnation for it
yeah,
is Hinduism. You know, depending on how bad you were in life, depends on what you come back as. You know,
yeah,
if you did poorly, you can come back as a slug and have to work your
yeah,
way back up.
yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm very good friends with Glenda. You know Glenda. You should have Glenda on your show. That's somebody you should have on your show. Is
Okay.
Glenda Dawson. She's amazing at what she does.
Okay.
Um, she's told me a lot of different interesting things. And what's funny is apparently I've had uh, 400 lives before mine.
See, and I'm preparing for that, Brian. You have no idea. I literally am preparing for that shit. I'm sit there and I'm like, okay, if reincarnation is real, I'm getting ready for this. The next life is going to be so much different, you know.
Well, this is it because that's one of the things she says is that the reason you come back is because of it's almost like a reset. So you need to do things differently
Yep.
in order to go to the actual place where you're supposed to go.
I,
So it's
I
almost like every life you have is a reset to better than what you did before.
yes,
And that's
yes,
what
and
she
that's what I
says.
think.
And but one of the things that one of the and people are going to laugh when some people might know this, but one of the lies she told me I was I worked in a brothel.
Oh,
Yeah, I worked in a brothel and I
wait,
was a prostitute who had
yes,
red hair and apparently very, very big boobs.
I
So
was loving. I was hoping. I was like, oh, come on, don't be the pimp.
yeah. So apparently that was one of my past lives that I worked in a brothel. So I understand why I continue coming back. So but no, that was funny when she told me that. And apparently it's very odd. Red hair. Red hair, works in a brothel, has big boobs, and is a prostitute. Like it's
Kitty,
just
you're
very, very weird.
Kitty from
So
Gunsmoke.
where does that come from? Anyways, but apparently I've had 400 lives,
That's
400 and something.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
it's
is,
kind of cool.
see, I want to know things like that. I want to know.
Yeah, you need to
Have
have
I?
Glenda on your show. You need to have Glenda Dawson on your show. Do you know Glenda?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madame Bryan. There you go.
Oh, that's your new name.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, hey, listen, I'm an actor now. I'm an actor now, so I'm not far. I could easily become that.
No, I was actually going to ask you about that. So,
Yeah.
you know, how's that going anyway? I know that you recently put out, there was a film that came out with you in it. How did you ever get started in acting anyway?
Acting started acting well. Um, I did a few things, just little things in school, like
Hmm.
public school between grade 1 and grade 6. So I did a few things there. I did a few more in high school. I did more stage productions in high school.
Hmm.
And then once I left high school, um, I went into the army.
Okay.
I got out of the army, went to college, and um, I didn't really want to do what I did in college. So I ended up becoming a private investigator.
Okay.
But during that time, I signed up to an agency to be an actor. And I thought I was going to do, I thought I was going to do background work and,
Hmm.
all those kind of wonderful things. And it was just extra money in my pocket.
Right.
And my very first audition I went out for, I got. and it wasn't background. This was like right in front of the camera. It was a Raceway commercial.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was for Mohawk Raceway. And then what ended up happening is a year later, after that commercial was done with Mohawk, another Raceway picked it up, and they used it for a year.
Oh,
So I ended up doing like 3 or 4 commercials back then. I was on a bunch of TV shows. Do you remember we talked about this on the podcast the other day with Rob and Nando? Do you remember the TV show Kung Fu
yes.
back in the I think
Yeah,
it was
like late
late
70s,
70s,
80s.
early
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah.
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he did a remake of it here in Toronto.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
back in the back in the 90s. So I ended up playing a few roles on there as well.
I remember Vicky telling me about that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yes.
So I ended up being in that as well, and I did a few other things. But what made me leave the industry is I was doing quite well in my 20s when it came to acting, and I had hair back then, believe it or not. So, um, but
I
you
am
know,
going bald as I age too, so I got you.
it's a burden we all have to bear at
Oh
some
my
point in our
gosh.
lives.
Thanks,
So
Dad.
yeah. So I ended up going out for a role for a TV soap opera, Kung Fu Fighting, right?
Yeah.
No, that I think that's isn't that Panda movie,
Well, no,
or is that
it's a
Kung Fu
song.
Panda?
Everybody was kung fu
Oh yeah,
fighting.
yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
David Carradine did a remake of it here in Toronto, so I was on that a couple of times as well. But anyway, so I went out for this role for this new soap, daytime drama that was coming to Toronto,
That's
and
awesome,
it
though.
was called Family Passions.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Well, just hold on. So it was here for a year, and then it went back. It moved to the States because they started here in Toronto, and then it moved to the States. It turned into Passions.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so the first season, for the first year it was on, it was called Family Passions, and then it got moved and became Passions. So I
Okay.
was up for a role in that soap. Do you remember? And I think he was there for that role for a while. Do you remember a character on that soap? His name was Dylan.
Yes.
That's the role I was supposed to get. Yeah.
Oh my
So what
gosh.
ended up happening was I went out for this role. I did about 8 or 9 auditions for it,
Yeah,
and I got the part. I got it.
that's amazing.
And I was exhausted by this point, and I was mentally drained from all the auditions and everything that I had to go through. I had to run through hoops for this role. So I ended up getting it. So I went to my agent and I said, listen, this is it. This is what I've been working so hard to get. Not
Uh-huh.
realizing at this point, I realized what I wanted. But when I first started, I thought it was just going to be background, you
Right.
know? So it ended up becoming more. But and I ended up doing a little bit of modeling as well. So,
I was just actually getting ready to say, like, okay, so you wouldn't believe it looking at me now, but when I was 16, I used to model.
okay,
And it was with the John Casablanca agency, and it was out of Tulsa. Okay, and
there was a Casablanca, John Casablanca in Canada as well
he's
at one
national,
point.
he's international,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And they were casting roles for a movie or whatever, but at that time I was very inexperienced in my
Mm,
life, and the scene was that I had to seduce somebody.
okay.
And of course I didn't get shit because I'm like, no, you know. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was out.
Well, I'm always one of those people. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? So,
Right.
um, but so I went to my agent. I said, "Listen, this is my break. This is what I've been working for. So when it comes to contract, do not ask for the world and money." What do you think she did?
Asked for
The
way too much.
complete opposite of what I said.
Yep.
So I ended up losing the job. Like I went to the person I was competing it with,
Oh
and
my
and
gosh.
it was a done deal. I was picked. I was selected, and who knows where I'd be today if
Maybe in the States acting.
Yeah. So,
Maybe
but
you should.
after that happened, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done
Yeah,
with this business. And
yeah.
ended up firing my agent
Hmm.
and leaving the business. And then when I moved to Toronto about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I figured, you know what? Now I'm in Toronto. I don't think as an actor you never lose that itch
Right.
of being an actor, just like a paranormal investigator. You never lose that. You might be holding back on investigations for 5 or 6 years and still want to go out and stuff like that,
Yes.
and eventually go out. That's what it was like for me when it came to acting. And so I decided to look for an agent. And so I got pictures done. I put my resume together and I started sending it out to agents.
Yeah.
And I sent it out to maybe 50 agents here in Toronto,
Okay.
and a few got back to me. I ended up going to see a few, and there was one particular one that I was interested. She ended up calling me, and she goes, "Well, I'm not looking for anybody on my roster,
Hmm.
but there's a girl in my office that's planning to open her own agency. So let me send her your picture and your resume." And she called me the next day, and we met, and I signed with her the day after that, and she's been a great agent. Her name is Ilona DeCaro,
That's an awesome
and
name too.
she's an amazing person. She's been amazing. She's gotten me so much work over the last 5 years, and I've done extremely, extremely well. I've done a lot better now than I did in my 20s, but of course, back in my 20s, there wasn't as much as there is now.
Right.
There's so much going on now. Like there's so many different streaming platforms and Netflix and you know all kinds of stuff going on. Back in those days,
Yes.
you had
Yes.
like you had like
Two
15
channels.
stations. Yeah, you had like 15 stations. You were lucky if you had cable.
Right.
But it's just and even if you had the cable, it was only like 4 or 5 extra channels. But
Right.
yeah, so I went back and it's been great. Last year I did a movie for my very first movie, and which is going to be going to the Sundance Film Festival, and then it
Awesome.
will be on Crave TV
Okay.
after that. I've done a lot of work, but again, I was mentioning this the other day on the podcast I was on. The roles I tend to get are authority figure roles, so like a cop, a sergeant,
You
a
have
bomb.
that look though.
Yeah, yeah. I was a killer. I played a killer last year, which was fantastic.
I want to watch that. I have not seen that one.
Yeah,
Where can
that's
you find that?
and I'm disappointed because it was a great role. I was in it quite a bit, but as editing is your friend, not always. Um, they cut out a lot of stuff, which is unfortunate, but I just loved playing a killer. It was different. I've been killed twice on shows, but I've never actually been the person who's done the killing.
Right.
So that was cool. It was based on a true story.
Right.
A guy from, I believe he was from San Diego. I believe he was from San Diego, I believe. And he killed someone, stabbed this person 66 times.
Holy
And
crap. He was
yeah,
angry.
it's like for $80,000.
That's
$80,000. Yeah. And he got 55 years. 55 years in jail. So I played his role. I played him. But this guy wasn't the brightest guy in the world. I have to be honest. Obviously killing somebody for $80,000 is ridiculous. But he put this guy in a barrel
hmm
and went out to the bay to get rid of the body. And he threw the barrel overboard, and the barrel was 5 feet high. He put it into water that was only 3 feet deep.
Oh my god.
So he wasn't really the smartest guy in the world.
What a dumbass.
Oh, like
So
seriously.
Bucci wants
So,
to know, will you be getting to go to France for the festival?
um, if I'm invited, yes. If I'm invited, I played a supporting role. Um, my role, um, it was interesting. It was an interesting role. Yeah, to say the least. Yeah, when they see it, people will laugh. People will laugh. It's a movie. It's a movie and documentary all in one, and it's based on a true story. And it's about a girl that is a dancer that turns to prostitution
Okay.
during COVID. And
Okay.
apparently, it was a best-selling book. So that's
Oh,
a good thing.
really?
Yeah. So, and if you don't know the book is called Modern Whore. And yeah,
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
What a
No pun
name.
intended. Yeah, I'm not overly thrilled with the name, but it's not my movie. And yeah, it's called Modern Whore, which is it makes it sound like, okay, Brian, were you in a porn? Just say you were in a porn.
You were just living one of your 400 lives, weren't you?
No, it's definitely not a porn. So yeah. So, but actually, I think that's the first time I mentioned the name of the movie. I'm not sure if I was supposed to do that or not. If I get
I've
in
not
trouble, I'll
heard
get
it.
in trouble. Oh well, it is what
Uh,
it is.
you named the book.
But it's all over the internet that the movie's coming out, so I don't
Oh,
think
there
it's a
you go.
big
You're
issue.
fine.
So
Yeah.
I just can't talk about my role. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha. But yes, so in the one where you shared a bunch of previews, of the movie, where you were this cop or whatever,
I was commander.
that's what it was. Okay, you have literally that face for it, the whiskers, and you just authoritative.
Yeah, that was. If anybody's heard of this show, and I'm sure people have, it's called Disasters at Sea,
Oh yes, yeah.
and I played Commander Scott Muller. And the episode, if people want to watch it, it's called Destinations Unknown. You will be able to find it on YouTube. A lot of these shows end up on YouTube. Destinations Unknown. Yeah. Yes, it's called Disasters at Sea, Destinations Unknown. Yeah, it was great. It was great. That was a great little part that I had. Well, it wasn't a little part. I was the main character of the show, but
Yeah,
it was that was a lot of fun. That was a
that's
lot of
awesome.
fun, and I've had a lot of fun roles. Like I'm sure people have heard of this too. I've been in See No Evil like 7 times.
It's no evil.
See No Evil is a big popular show through on Investigation Discovery.
Yes,
Yes, I've
yes.
been in that show a lot.
Really, I didn't know
Yeah.
this. I
Yep.
wonder. You know what? I wonder, like, if I've seen you before and just didn't, but I didn't know who you were. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because
Yeah.
I don't watch
Yeah.
those things now.
It's funny because somebody, what was it, 3 weeks ago? I forget who it was. I can't remember her name now. She has paranormal. I think it's Locker 13. Paranormal Locker 13. What's her name?
I don't.
Um,
Your
uh,
person would be Vicky. Vicky knows everybody's names.
yeah, she does paranormal lockdown 13. And she's on Parapost every so often. Karma Wilder.
Okay.
She messaged me one day and said, "Are you an actor?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my god, I thought I saw your twin on TV. Were you in this show?" And I go, "Yeah, that's me." And she goes, "Oh my god, I had no idea." I was
That's
on
funny.
Paranormal's night shift as well. I was on Paranormal night shift as well when I played a sergeant in the military. And that was great. That was a great episode that I did. And, the funny thing about that episode, so I didn't even originally audition for this role, and my agent called me. It was I think it was a Thursday morning at like 9:30 in the morning, and she goes, "What are you doing today?" I go, "Nothing planned right now." She goes, "Well, can you drive down to Hamilton, which is about an hour from Toronto, because I have a role for you on a TV show." So I go, "Okay, what TV show?" "Paranormal Night Shift." So I go, "Well, where did this come from?" "Well, the guy that you're taking a spot, he didn't want to shave his beard,
Oh,
and he had to shave his beard to he had to, and it was actually in the notes when you get the audition that you had to shave your beard."
Yeah.
or cut your hair or whatever for this role.
And
And
he
if
just
you're agreeing to do this, if you're agreeing to sending in a self tape, you're agreeing to do this. He wouldn't shave his beard, so they fired him.
well, did he think
So,
he was just going to be able to skirt it? I mean,
I
they
think
made
it
it
was I think it was either his beard or his hair. I can't recall which one it was, but he wouldn't cut. He wouldn't cut it.
right.
So they fired him, and they needed somebody. So apparently, I think one of the producers, I think it was Anthony Brown, that mentioned me, and so they looked at my reel, which is on a website for actors,
Hmm.
and it was the same director as Disasters at Sea as well.
Okay.
Same director, so he knew who I was, and so my agent calls me up and goes, "Well, can you do this role?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, there is a script." I go, "Oh, crap." Because sometimes you get a role you don't necessarily you could just be playing an actor,
Gotcha.
which is you don't have any lines, but then
Right.
you play a principal, that's when you have lines. This was a principal, so I
Got
had
it.
lines.
Got
So on the drive down there I had to memorize the script.
that is a lot of pressure. That would make me forget everything I read as soon as I read it.
Now in the actual show, they cut out a lot. They cut out a lot of, not necessarily my lines, they just cut a lot out because they have to, because
They have
it's
to
like
fit it into like a 30-minute segment.
it's a 30-minute, actually no, this was a 30-minute show, but they had segments in the show. So they
Oh.
would have a 15-minute segment in the show,
Hmm.
or I think this one was 20 minutes. I think it was an hour long, but they had three separate shows in one.
Oh, I know
So
what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, so I went down, I was memorizing my lines, and that was pressure. That was a lot of pressure when you
Hmm.
I had no idea about the role. Obviously, I got there. I found out I was, obviously reading the script, I found out what I was. But when I got there, finding out what I was doing and stuff like that. But you know what? That was all within that same day. I drove
Yep.
down there. We did the role. It was one day of filming, and then that was it. So,
That's awesome,
uh,
though.
it's
But
funny because people think it's glamorous. It's not glamorous at
yeah.
all.
Um,
So,
but you know what that does, so I don't know, like validate your ability to be an actor. You were put on
mm.
the spot, you were able to pull it off, and you did well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, after this, I got to do a self tape for audition for another TV show that's
oh,
due tomorrow. Yeah.
that's awesome.
So, yeah, 3 stories per episode. That's right. Right, Vicky. So, yeah. So I got to do this for a TV show. It's going to be, I've never heard of this platform, Vice TV. It's going to be on.
Vice,
Yeah.
that's a big one. That's like a primarily focused on men's channel, but you get it on
Okay.
satellite and cable.
Okay. That's the channel it's going to be on.
That's a big one.
So apparently, all I have to do in the self tape, all I have to do is look in the camera, and somebody tells me that my daughter committed suicide, and I have to do a reaction.
That
That's
wouldn't
all it
be hard
is.
to do. That's awful.
I know, isn't it?
That's so I'm all like,
Well, I don't think I can do that. Would a man do that?
no, a man would probably get angry. Honestly, he'd be like, "What'd you just say? Who?
Well, actually, in
Who?"
the actual outline, they want me to be sad and devastated.
Oh,
So,
so the
and that's what I thought. I thought I'd be like, I'd be a little upset, then I would get angry.
is
You
this the
think that
natural
would be a
reaction?
natural reaction to that? But
Yes.
anyhow, so that's, I got to do that tonight, and after this, and not saying that I need to leave because I got all night to do it, because it's
You're
literally going to take me 30 seconds to do, and
oh,
so it's like,
cut.
eh, yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I can cry though. I can cry easly.
Oh, that's a good
So
thing.
yeah.
Good.
So I just think about, exes, and then
Okay.
makes me really upset. No.
Oh,
Okay. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. So Yeah, yeah, and I think the perfect way to do a sad and a cry is do an ugly cry.
It
If you
is.
do the ugly cry, you're most likely going to get the role.
And it's more than that though. Because I can watch a movie, and if
Yeah,
somebody has like the worst cry, like the fakest sounding, I'm like, you big baby, you know. But if
yeah,
somebody literally is ugly crying, I tear up. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh, poor
I
baby.
get emotional on movies too. I used to get emotional. I used to get emotional with Little House on the Prairie. For God's sakes, every time Jonathan would cry, you'd see me on the couch crying.
I love it.
And let's
Oh,
face it, we all remember Little House on the Prairie
yes,
if
yes,
you're old enough.
yep.
So yeah, yeah. Little House on the Prairie. What nights was that on? I think it was on Monday nights, right?
That I don't remember.
Monday
That's
nights.
too much detail.
I think it was Monday nights that was on. Monday or Sundays. Yeah,
And it
it
might
was a
even
good
been
show.
different for you and I.
What's that?
It might have been different for you and I. We're in different
Yeah,
countries.
yeah, that's
So,
for sure. It could have been in. I'm pretty sure it was on Monday nights at 9 o'clock. That's
gotcha.
weird how I remember that.
I know. Like, that's too much
Yeah,
detail. How do
that's
you do that?
hey, listen, I was a huge and even to this day, I'm a huge Michael Landon fan.
He was a
I loved Michael
fantastic
Landon. Yeah.
London. Was it called London Wolf? Do you remember that from the
No,
80s?
no.
Michael Landon, he was the star. I think it was called or Wolf of London, or I know there's a song. I'm not confusing it with the song, but it was something about a wolf. Um,
Opa. Yeah.
Opa.
Laura Ingalls.
Yes. You
Yeah.
know, actually, Laura Ingalls is from here in Missouri,
Yeah.
and she's actually from the town Mansfield, and that's actually where my family's from.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so my
Cool.
maiden name is Turner, and like they have an entire cemetery and like an actual town called Turner's, Missouri, and all this and whatever. And I'm trying to find the correlation if they may have ever linked up somehow, because Mansfield back in those days would have been super tiny.
Now,
Wheaton area.
did you ever see the documentary? I think it's on YouTube. It's not necessarily a documentary. Did you ever see the I think there is a documentary out there about Little House on the Prairie.
I don't
And
think I've seen
the
it.
amount of drama that was going on behind the scenes.
Really?
Oh yeah, like his wife on the show, they didn't
Yeah.
get along at all.
Really? They
Yeah.
meshed really well for the show.
Well, the first 2 seasons they did.
Yeah.
And then it came down to contracts and he wouldn't pay her.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And he would not pay her when back in those days when it came to women in the field of acting, they didn't get paid as much as men did. And Michael Landon was the producer of the show, the executive producer of the show, and they're
Oh,
the main people. Like people think it's the director, it's not. It's the executive producers that are running the whole thing.
right. The director just tells people where to stand,
Yeah,
basically.
director is telling the story. The executive producer is basically the owner of the whole show. And apparently, he was a real sorry, Michael. I apologize, but apparently he was a real dickhead to her in the show, and he wasn't very nice to her at all. And I think there was one season, I think it was the 4th season, where you rarely saw her in the
Really.
whole season. Well, that was done on purpose
See, I
because
don't remember that. I
there
was a
was
kid.
either the 3rd or 4th season that she was rarely seen in the any of the episodes. That was because of the fact that they were in the middle of a fight and he was cutting her out of all the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
realize. You look at this wholesome show,
yes. That's
family
like hard to
oriented
believe.
show, and it's like all this drama going on behind the scenes. It's just
Right.
weird.
Okay, so there's several things, and I think I'm confusing the show Highway to Heaven
Yes,
and
that was with his buddy from that was from his buddy was on what was his name? What was the guy's name that he was with all the time? Because he
uh
was on Little House on the Prairie for the last 4 seasons.
oh my goodness. I don't know. There's so many things here. Michael Landon, Victor French,
That's who it is,
James
Victor French. He
French,
was the he was in Little House and Highway to Heaven.
and and I think I was confusing it though because apparently he was also in a movie called "I Was a Teenage Werewolf."
Okay. And Michael Landon started his career on Bonanza.
Yes, Bonanza's on here.
Yeah.
Banana.
Bonanza.
He
Yeah.
was on Banana.
Yeah. I remember Bonanza, but I never watched Bonanza. I think I was only like 4 or 5.
I had to watch it. That and Star Trek, and I had to watch it
Mr. Edwards. That's right.
because that's what my parents,
Yes.
yeah, wrote her out. Yeah, that's what he's. Yeah, so
Yeah, he did. And when they were doing an interview with her, and I've seen a few interviews with her, she was treated terribly on that set.
that's
And
possible.
because she wanted more money because the show was so successful.
It was that was a
And
big. People still watch
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And I'm wondering if they get royalty checks from it still being on.
Ooh, I bet. I would. You would think they would have to. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
people are
Well,
still watching it.
in those days they were real like, as I've gone on and done a lot more research, a lot of actors in the 70s and 80s and even in the early 90s, how badly they were treated. Like, it's a
Right.
lot better now because of the unions and stuff like that, but um, how badly women were treated on sets in the 70s and 80s and even the early 90s.
That's so sad.
And it is sad because, they're just as important on
Yeah.
any set than any man is.
Yeah.
So,
You wouldn't have
but
that. You wouldn't have that role fulfilled unless the man wants to put on a dress.
yeah, that's for sure. But it's really interesting. Um, it's really interesting just listening to them and how they were talking, and like even Miss Olsen.
Hmm.
By the end of all of it, she hated the show.
Really?
And you know how she wasn't in the last episode?
No,
Well,
that's too long.
she wasn't in the last few episodes, and that
Mhm.
was because she didn't want to appear in the last episodes because she hated everything about Little House on the Prairie.
That's so
And just
sad.
because of how she was treated, and she was a huge star before Little House on the Prairie. Like, she had done a lot of movies. She was a
Gotcha.
very famous actress.
Gotcha.
And but again, it came down to, contracts and money.
Yep.
And they were terribly treated on set, which really took away the me liking the show
Oh, I
after
see. Yeah, I'm
hearing all this
sure.
stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but yeah, she didn't appear on the last episode because she was protesting the show and how she was treated. And again, she hated it. She hated the show by the end just
That's
because of
so
how she was
sad.
treated, which is unfortunate because Michael Landon always came across as this wholesome guy. Apparently he wasn't.
Yeah, that's a problem. Lone
So
Wolf
anyway,
was Jan Michael Vincent.
not sure who that is.
I'm not sure either.
So
Um,
before we got into the acting and stuff like that, you were going to ask me about Global Ghost Hunt.
yes, that's my next question. So
Mm,
we've already kind of talked about it. Of course, you've really put it out there a lot already. And last week, whenever I met with Matt, we had mentioned the aspect of you guys doing this for free now.
yes.
Okay. And it turns out at least one of our viewers did not know about it. And he got super excited about it. So, since you are the guy for Global Ghost Hunt, why don't you share a little more about that so that anybody who may not know can know the details?
Yeah. Um, so last year's Global Ghost Hunt, and I'm not taking anything away from it because it was a lot of fun, but um, we had something happen at the beginning, and there's reasons why we're doing what we're doing this year, because of what happened last year. So there were a bunch of things that happened at the beginning of last year that hurt the Global Ghost Hunt, and that's the honest truth. And
Yep.
there's no way around that. It is what it is. People made a lot of disgusting rumors and disgusting lies that hurt the Global Ghost Hunt, and which is fine. And well, it's not fine, but so what I decided, I was talking to Matt, and I was talking to a few other people, and I said, we got to do something this year that is going to start bringing people back.
Yep.
And hopefully these people understand, because a year's gone by and figuring out that all that crap that was talked about last year, and it just wasn't me, it was about Matt, it was about AJ, it was about other people as well on the team, and they were all just bold-faced lies because somebody was upset because she left and we didn't ask her to come back. And and she left 7 times, and by the
Oh,
seventh time I said, you know what, I'm not asking you back. And she got upset, she was pissed off, and she decided that she's going to go out and spread rumors, and that's fine. If that's how you want to live your life, that's how you want to live your life, but that really hurt us in the end.
right.
So like I said, I was talking to Matt and some other people, and I said, what do we need to do to get some of these people back? And I'd already come up the idea. I go, you know what, guys, this is what I think we should do. I think we should have the event, only have it once this year. And then, but this time I think we should do it no entrance fee, no entry fee at all. And hey, no entry fee at all. And they said that's a great idea. And that's how it came about. Now, with saying that now, we had to build a new website, and there were certain reasons why we had to build a new website. And so the new website, just to let everybody know, it's going to be released on March 1st, so in a few days. And it's a brand new site. The site looks incredible. Aaron Hoffman has done a wonderful job, and Tammy's been helping him. Tammy is part of Global Ghost Hunt now, AJ's girlfriend. And so she's been helping. So it's looking incredible, and it looks completely different from the last one. And so I decided that I think the best route that we should go is we should have it free this year and only do it once and see what the turnout's going to be. Well, so far, because of that, we are getting a lot of people asking when the site's going to be launched. And I got 2 messages today from 2 different teams saying, when can we register? So it looks like it's going to be busy for this one. It's going to probably be our biggest. So what we're going to do, if we get an overwhelming amount of teams, we are going to expand it another 4 days.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So we're still same concept. Everything's still going to be the same. If you're recording, because they don't have Wi-Fi, then you can send us the video and we will put it live for you. The same thing with investigations. We'll give you a link, then you go live. We need to still talk about the times, because we think instead of being 2 hours, we might cut it down to an hour and a half, only because of the amount of teams that we think we're going to get.
Right.
What are you doing with Parapost? Well, we can talk about that after.
I was going to say, yeah, Matt mentioned some changes. We were going to get there. So
yeah, so we decided that, to do all this. So we're still going to be on a lot of channels. It's still going to be shared out everywhere for all the platforms, and the whole admin team shares it everywhere. So it goes across the world. Last year, I think in total we had just around 270,000 views for the 2 events.
Holy crap.
So, it does well. It really does well. But even with last year, with it being down, it still had a lot of views. The year before we had close to, I think it was close to 396.
I was going to say the 270 is still huge, because I remember,
Yeah.
it wasn't quite as many entries as,
Yeah.
normal. And
So it was definitely down by almost 100,000. It was down by views. So, it happened. What happened last year was, it happened. It's funny. A lot of those people that were in that live have come back to me and apologized for what they did. Yeah. Believe it or not.
that says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everything.
And, I don't know how many people were in the show because I never saw it. I think 3 people or 4 people have come back and apologized to me, and they figured it out. It was all bullshit. It was all lies.
Good, because
And
I'm hoping that the people who came and apologized weren't one of them that actually lied and made up a
Yep.
story.
Oh yeah.
Oh
They
my.
didn't make up the story. What happened was they were told something from somebody else and they
Oh,
told that story.
okay. So they didn't make up one
So
for themselves.
unfortunately, a lot of those people were influenced by one person.
Yep.
And not that person on the show. There was another person that influenced a few people. But at the end of the day, some of those people have come back and have apologized to me and, profusely up and down saying they were so sorry, which is great.
Mhm.
But still doesn't leave out the fact that they still did it
And you can't take
without all the
back the
facts.
damage that
Yeah.
happened because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And you know what? All I've ever tried to do is help teams,
Yep.
help locations, and help people grow. That's why I have Global Ghost Hunt. That's why I have Parapost Network. That's why I have Parapost Network, the app.
Mhm.
All I've ever tried to do is help people. And because they didn't get what they wanted out of the Global Ghost Hunt, they were mad. They were mad.
They can be
And
mad, but I can tell you from a personal standpoint, and I know I'm speaking for the entire team, and especially Vicky. If it weren't for you, and it weren't for everything that you have done, we wouldn't even have the people that know about us that we do. You know what I
mm,
mean? Were absolutely nobody before you guys came along.
yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
that's what our goal was, to give awareness to these locations that are disappearing every single year,
Yep.
and then give it recognition to actually paranormal investigators that are actually going out there and spending hours in these locations and maybe not catching anything, but all they're trying to do is get evidence. They're trying to get answers for people that are fans of the paranormal.
Yep.
That's what we do. That's what we're doing. And
And ours very specifically though, just so we literally have a quote, and it's keeping people in good spirits because
mm,
of course started off we just focused on residential. If somebody calls because they're scared or whatever, let us come in, let us help you find some answers, and maybe we can help you feel better about the situation. You know what I mean? And
mm,
that's what we're all about. Is we don't want people scared. You need to take back your power.
yeah.
And that's kind of where
Yeah.
we come from.
Well, it's interesting because when that stupid video happened last year, people actually were coming after me in two different ways. One in a negative way and one in a positive way. And the positive way was great. It was good that I had, but the negative was, why aren't you going up and defending yourself? If you're not going up and defending yourself, it just shows that you're guilty. No, it
Mhm.
shows that I'm a fucking adult, that
And
I'm not going to play this drama game.
it's a waste of your energy,
Yeah.
honestly. It won't
And
change anything.
no, it doesn't. And like I said to somebody, how can I defend myself against lies?
Yep.
And like at the end of the day, it was ridiculous. And if you have to go to that extent to really hurt somebody that's tried to be your friend,
Yep.
you have some real issues.
Right.
And
Exactly.
the real sad thing, and I'm not going to say the person's name, and the people
Yeah,
that
don't do
watch that
we're not gonna
video
do
know,
that.
no, one of those people on there took the step to email my agent.
So they weren't just, like, fucking with you, they were fucking with your livelihood.
Yeah. She emailed I'll say it was a she. She emailed my agent to get my agent to drop me. And that's how bad it got. And like when my agent called me and she said, "Who is this person?" I knew who it was right away. And she goes, "Well, I don't know what she's doing. She's wasting her time. And, if you have to," she's basically said, she said this to me. She goes, "You know what, Brian? I've known you for over 5 years. I know what kind of person you are. You are well respected on set when you go there. I've never heard one bad thing about you. You respect everyone when you're working with them. So I know you're not this kind of person."
And
And she tried to send proof that I was this type of person, which showed no proof whatsoever. And like I said, a podcast not too long ago, I was actually considering going down the legal route.
I
And
almost wondered if you shouldn't have. because
Yeah,
this is a big thing for this is your life.
yeah. And the lawyer basically told me was, when do you want to start and how much do you want? And like he saw it. He saw some of it, and he goes, "It's just give me the word. They're
Yeah.
done. They're done.
Slander,
Yeah, they're
defamation of
done."
character.
And they will never be allowed to. They will never be allowed to be on the internet again. That's how serious this lawyer wanted to,
Wow.
where he was going to take it. And and I still could if I wanted to, and I just, at the end of the day though,
It's a waste of your energy.
what is it going to do? Like,
Nothing.
really? It's I've always been a big believer is, if you want to stop the crap, if you want to stop the drama, stop talking about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Stop talking about it.
Yep.
And I go by there's a couple of actors out there that I live by some of their quotes, and it's along the same lines. Like, there's an excellent quote by Morgan Freeman that I absolutely love, and I won't get into what it is, but I love him as an actor. And
Just
what?
tell us the quote.
Well, it's not necessarily a quote.
Oh, okay.
It's more, well, it is a quote, but it's it's about Black History Month,
Hmm.
and he doesn't celebrate Black History Month because it shouldn't be only celebrated in one month. And he said about racism,
Yeah.
and which I thought was amazing. What he said was, if you're going to stop racism, we need to stop talking about it.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly right. Because, I mean, what it comes down to is, as long as we keep talking about it, it's going to continue to be perpetuated. So,
Yeah. So really, 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 my like, I had some really, really good people behind me saying, you know what, just walk away. Don't even
right.
worry about it. You have your support of your close circle of friends, and you have the support of all the admin staff on the Global Ghost Hunt. And that's what I did. That's what I did. And I don't talk about it publicly
Right.
at all, except like the last couple of podcasts that I've done, because we're talking about the Global Ghost Hunt and
I was
why
gonna say,
I'm doing what I'm doing.
exactly. It's
Eh,
necessary for us
Yeah,
to have an understanding of why this is happening.
yes, and that's why I'm doing it, because of
Yeah.
what they did. And they wanted to destroy the Global Ghost Hunt, and that was their end game. And they did it last year. They did it. But I think the thing that's really sad about the whole thing is and it continually happens all the time, is why people only listen to one side of the story and then believe everything that's going on. That's what really upset me, because there were people, from what I understand, that were not necessarily in the room but in the chat, saying some not nice things about not me but other people.
Right.
And I thought it was really, really super uncalled for. And they got the views, they got their clicks they wanted, and that's it. And I moved on. I've moved on from it, and I don't want anything to do with it anymore. So I don't. And
So,
so this is why we did what we did with the Global Ghost Hunt, and the feedback we're getting is incredible. So what I am considering, and I think this will be the first time I announce this.
oh, everybody get ready. We're that cool.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're that.
Yes. I might have. I'm not sure if I mentioned it somewhere else, but this is actually the decision that's been made. It will be talked about more in our next meeting, but we will probably continue having the Global Ghost Hunt for free.
Right. Okay.
There will be
Now,
no entrance fee.
now, this is what I did suggest in the last thing, though,
Yeah.
was that I feel like if people have the means, I still think that people maybe should, if they can do it, donate something just to help you guys get through this,
Yeah.
because you're not guaranteed yourselves. And it does cost you guys a shit ton of money to run this.
Yeah.
And, um,
The website and the hosting is what costs a lot as well. The last website I had, and people don't know this because I don't really talk about it, but the last website cost me, and it was money out of my own pocket, and that's fine. I was the one that started it. I have no problem with it. But as we go on, and now that we're creating a brand new site, um, not right now, but down the road, that is going to cost me money.
Right.
And a lot of this money goes towards things that we're doing. So,
Right.
but anyways, bottom line is that we're probably going to continue this. We'll see how it goes. If we have a really, really fantastic reception and we get a lot of teams, then we'll continue doing it free. And then where the Global Ghost Hunt will make money is in the merchandise and sponsors, if we can get them. So, because I want to continue it, because I do have a goal. I do have a long-term goal, and my long-term goal is I would like to be able to give a check to a haunted location that's struggling
That would be
to stay
fantastic,
open.
Bryan.
And that's one of my goals that I wanted to do. And that's
Yeah,
why some of this money that we are building was going into an account that we would eventually give to a location. And
that's fantastic.
if we can give them like $10,000, and that will save them for the year or maybe 2 years, you
I was
know?
gonna say that one we did for Global Ghost Hunt. It was
Yeah.
literally a decrepit old building that this woman decided to buy. She was part of the historical society, and so she donated this building to the historical society
Yeah.
and taken money from her own pocket to try to
Yeah.
fix the place back up. She was always looking for donations and stuff to keep
Yeah.
it going.
We had a place in the first season that we were really trying hard to find them a team, and because they were getting close to closing down.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, the area they were in, there was a lot of things that were involved that we ended up couldn't find a team. They ended up selling the people that owned it.
That's sad.
It was bought by somebody else, so it's still open, but they lost it. They had to
Right,
sell. And there's places here in Canada that have gotten torn down that should still be up, but because nobody's going and
right.
investigating these places or even touring these places, what people don't realize is these places cost money. Yes, it might be an abandoned place, but they still have to pay property taxes. They
Yes, they
still have
do.
to pay electric bill.
Or
If
keep
they have
windows in.
what's
'Cause
that?
or keep windows in. I mean, think if you got all these abandoned buildings out, and how many people are going through there and busting out windows and spray painting or doing something because they're
Exactly.
bored.
So, like I said, when I first started this, the long term goal was to eventually help haunted locations by giving them money to help them. Okay,
Right.
maybe $500, but $500 can go a long way, you
It's
know.
something.
But my goal was to get to like 10, 20, $30,000
Mhm.
to hand a check to maybe not one place, but maybe three places. They get
Exactly.
10,000 each, you know. But
Exactly.
the thing is, um, it's the thing is, and this is where the problem lies, because if people are paying an entry fee, which I get, they don't want to because they have to pay for the location. But what I always suggest to people, and it might work, it might not work, and this is the sales part of me, I think. Selling myself, I get no, don't take that wrong. Selling myself. So,
Again, that past life keeps coming in.
but yeah, but I like I've been to places where I suggest people when they go to places that they talk to the owner and say, listen, I'm part of this event called Global Ghost Hunt. This is going to be really, really good free marketing for you. We get thumbnails, we get videos. They're promoted on all the platforms. This is going to be free promoting for you. So, is there any way that we can make a deal for one night? For just one night, you either give me the location for free or give me a percentage off, because this is going to be free marketing for you.
We actually do approach them like that ourselves,
Yeah.
and we
Sometimes
have
they
gotten
do it,
discounts.
sometimes they don't. But at the
Right.
end of the day, at least you tried.
Yes.
So like you were saying that you've done it. And
Mhm.
if you want to, I suggest to people to put it on an event.
Yep.
And put on events, sell tickets, have an event go on, and you can make your money, but in the agreement of the contract, you got to give a percentage to the location. If
Sure.
you had an event, if they gave it to you at a discount or gave it to you for free, if you had
Right.
to pay full price, then they don't receive anything.
Right. Yeah, because that was for us.
So if you sell merch, if you sell whatever you sell, you like like I said, it's in the contract on the site. If they give it to you for free, you give 25% of your earnings for that night through merchandise.
Right.
Okay. And then if they gave you to a deal, you give them 15% of your sales for the night. And because everybody sells something at their events, they sell shirts and hats and all that stuff. You can give a percentage to the location for saying, thank you for giving me your location for free or at a discount, you
Right.
know?
Yep.
But again, you want to approach it in a way saying Global Ghost Hunt is on all platforms. It's shared all over the world,
Yep.
and you are going to get free promotion that
Right.
you don't have to pay for.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
Windyville. I
And
remember
they
I remember Vicky telling me about that,
they
you
did.
know?
Yeah, because we literally are bye Jonathan.
Bye,
Um
Jonathan.
but yeah, so that's literally, I think that's how we presented it too, was that, hey, we're going, because it's an Airbnb for her. It
Mm,
was her source of income. So we said, hey, this is going to be broadcasted globally, and everybody's going to now know you're there. And sure enough, not even a week after we aired on Global Ghost Hunt, a guy went and did it, and he went viral with it, because he had so much evidence.
oh Lord.
But it worked. It got
Yeah.
her seen. It did. It happened, and he keeps going back. And then from what I understand, she's gotten a huge influx in actual people coming to stay there.
And that's
So
fantastic. And that's why we do what we do.
yeah,
That's why I started Global Ghost Hunt. And unfortunately the other event that doesn't exist anymore. Um they were in it for I truly believe that they were in it for the wrong reasons, but that's neither here or there. That's her event, and I did mine completely different from hers. Hers was 1 day, mine's 10,
right.
and and she didn't have recordings. We have recordings, so that's why we put it on for 10 days, because if you go in on a Saturday night, we can play it during the week
Yes.
and share it everywhere, because we have the, and when I mean share it everywhere is because we people on the admin team, we have people in Europe that are sharing it out to groups in Europe.
Right.
That's how it's going viral.
Yes. And
So
people like us who are in rural Missouri
mm,
appreciate that opportunity of not having to go live, because we do not have signal anywhere hardly. You know what I mean? Even in
yeah.
my house, right where I sit, and I'm not that rural, I have to have internet in order to use my phone. If there was an actual emergency and the internet went down, I'm screwed. There's
Oh,
no
what?
there's
Wow.
no signal here whatsoever. And
Wow.
that's my house.
Yeah. Wow. And Global Ghost Hunt, again, I just go back to why I started Global Ghost Hunt. It was because of locations. My thought was locations are getting torn down every year. Like, there was a location out here that's a fantastic location. And I'd never been, but I'd heard lots about it. It was a old hotel, and it got torn down as now a friggin' parking lot. Like it's stuff like that. It just drives me crazy.
It pisses me off because, so we had the same issue happening in Lebanon, Missouri, which is where Vicky's from.
Okay.
Okay. There that the town was established in like in the 1800s or whatever, so it's not super old, but there was a an old jail, okay, that sat there, and they kept it open. They left it there and built a whole new jail behind it and everything. It was fantastic and big. And finally they just decided, for no reason whatsoever, that they're just going to tear down this jail, a piece of history, right? And then it was maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, we had this building called the HD Lee Factories, where they made Levi jeans. When they first started out, somebody decided they were going to burn that down. But coincidentally, the week before that, they were having town hall meetings about how we need to use that for something else. And
Wow.
it suddenly burned down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That I don't know if you've seen any of those videos, but I've done a lot. I've done a lot of investigations at this place, and actually, this place was supposed to be part of my Global Ghost Hunt. The church that I was supposed to go to,
Yes. Yes.
and it's all boarded up. They're trying to sell the land,
I remember
and
that.
if they sell the land, they're going to tear down the church. The church has been there since the early 1800s.
See, I don't, it
And
is,
it's an historical, this place, this town is now a well, it's not anymore, but at one point it was an abandoned town. but now there's businesses and stuff like that. But I don't think they're ever going to sell the land because they're trying to sell the land for $19 million.
I was gonna say, I remember you saying it was outrageous.
But it's just, and then $9 million a year in property taxes. Like, just that's nuts. But and I was inquiring on buying it. So that's definitely not gonna. That's definitely not gonna happen. But well, actually, John, who was with me at the not the last event, the one in April, May, when we were at the Wreckers, Wreckers place. John, he's a real estate agent, and he looked into it for me, and he goes, dude.
Yeah.
$19 million.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's an historical landmark that should be protected, not torn down.
Exactly.
And the town is selling it. It's somebody doesn't own the land. It's the town that's trying to sell it because they're trying to boost that area, and but it's unfortunate. But and the reason, going back to what I said earlier, this is the whole reason why we're doing the Global Ghost Hunt, is to bring awareness. Because when the first year Global Ghost Hunt, we had some fantastic locations. Like, I'd never heard of that brothel place that we had. It's funny how I mentioned that when I said earlier. But anyways, telling you, man, there's a connection there with the brothel. I always bring up the brothel, and I'm going, I just thought about it. Why am I always bringing up the brothel? Like, now there's the connection is there. Yeah. Jesus. I never put two and two together. I just put that together now. Like, oh, wait a minute, I talked about the brothel and the brothel. Yeah. And now I know why I'm bringing it up. Anyways, but no, but we had some incredible locations over the last couple of years that I'd never heard of.
Seriously.
And now I know there was a place in the first year that we had. I can't recall the place now. It was during the day. It is a wedding gown store.
Okay.
It's a house. I can't remember the name of the house. I think Minnesota Paranormal was there. I forget what their full name is, but they did a place, and from what I understand, she's been fully booked ever since.
That's awesome, though. That is awesome.
So it's stuff like that we love to hear. We love to hear that stuff, and we're gonna try to have more European teams. I know GSI is coming back.
Okay.
GSI Paranormal?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're on Paraflix. They're coming back this year for October. I've spoken to John. So I'm looking forward to having them back. We would love to have a lot more teams outside of North America, to be honest. Working on another team. Hopefully they're going to be there in October. And they're a big team. There's a couple of other things that are happening right now that I'm hoping that I can connect with. That's really going to help the Global Ghost Hunt a lot and help it grow, expand a lot more. But, I was working on something. I was working on something a year ago, and if we get and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it now, and I've never talked about it publicly, but I'm going to talk about it publicly now on your show. And you're going to be, and you guys might know, Vicky might know this. I'm not sure, but a year ago, I was approached. From a guy that wanted to be part owner of Global Ghost Hunt because he loved everything we did. Okay. And so we were trying to work out an agreement on Global Ghost Hunt, and unfortunately it fell through. But he has a lot of connections in the music industry. He's a producer. So he wanted to be part of Global Ghost Hunt. He had connections with Netflix. And the goal was to continue growing Global Ghost Hunt because Netflix knows about us.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, Netflix knows about us. He spoke to Netflix. They love the concept, so they know about us. And so this is why we're trying to grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. So we have those opportunities to be on these type of platforms.
Right.
And if we can get on those type of platforms, then Global Ghost Hunt, it has no limit on where it can go. Yep. And teams coming on, locations coming on. Well, if that ever happens, sponsors, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can start giving out those checks to haunted locations. Maybe even have, like, I even thought about this too. Even, this is only possibilities at this point. But my thought was also to give a check to the best team of the Global Ghost Hunt and give them like a $5,000 check, to help with their support.
Be absolutely awesome and all, but I mean, that would be hard to do because everybody is so good.
Oh yeah, we would find a way on who would be the best team of the event, and and I know some people would probably be pissed off with that, but at the end of the day, that makes them work harder for the next event,
right?
And stuff like that. But these are all the kinds of things that I want to do eventually with Global Ghost Hunt. It's just not about me sitting back and trying to get famous, because I'm not. Right. I'm already on TV, for God's sake. I don't, like I'm already an actor here in Canada. I it means nothing to me.
Right. Right.
And people, and that was another big thing. It was on the video. I'm looking for fame. No, I'm not. I'm not looking for fame. I'm already popular in Canada, for God's sakes. I could care less about that. But because I'm an actor, because I love the industry. I love being an actor. I love being in front of the camera. I don't do it because of the money or fame.
Right.
So, it's just the amount of ridiculousness of what happened last year was just ridiculous. But anyways,
it was.
I have goals for Global Ghost Hunt, but it's going to take some time to grow those goals. But knowing that Netflix knows about us, that's a fantastic thing.
It is. So I'll be honest with you. I actually know somebody in Lebanon who was having his movies get put on to Netflix. I don't know how he did it, but he would write his own scripts and shit. He literally got picked up by Netflix in little old Lebanon.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think it would be too hard for something like that.
Yeah. So it's called, Vicky put up its Dimensions. I thought it was Dimensional, but it's Dimensions.
Oh, I put that. I'm sorry.
Did
I thought
you?
It was, yeah, that was me. I must have did it. I thought you said dimension, but you did say dimensional. You're right.
I think it's Dimensions, though. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, maybe I'm right.
I think you're right. I think it's Dimensions Destinations now. I wish he was here.
I know we don't have the views. Like you have to get your people in here too, and we can all talk.
Yeah. Well, this is the great thing about doing these podcasts. The replays are great, right?
Right.
So you get a lot of replays. So, but what I would like you guys to do, I know you were talking about it not too long ago about coming over to Parapost.
So that's what we were going to ask you about.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. I guess I was a little confused. I thought Parapost, like I know you had the page, and I know that the app exists. I have it on my phone. But my question was I thought Parapost was like its own platform, so to speak. Matt says it's in fact just your Facebook page that we just kind of broadcast through.
No, Matt's getting the two mixed up. So we have Parapost Network, the app.
Okay.
And then we have Parapost Network Central. That's where all the podcasts go. So if you have a podcast and you want to stream to another platform, because the amount of followers that we have on the page, that's another way for you to build a following for your podcast. And this is what I was saying earlier. I've always done things to try to help people. So when I brought out Parapost Network Central and brought all these podcasts to the page, it was to help those podcasts grow.
Right.
And because the reason I started it was because the fact that I was going through my timeline on Facebook and looking at all these podcasts that had one person in it.
Yeah.
Or zero people, or like the whole show, they had nobody, so
let me finish my thought though real quick, so you understand why I haven't made that move yet. Because
no worries.
Like I said, earlier I was talking about how we were talking about where we might spend some money at. As it stands right now, we have the free restream because it's not costing us any money, which only allows me to stream to the one platform.
Yeah.
We were talking about going ahead and expanding that so that we can, in fact, stream to other platforms at the same
Mm,
time.
okay.
And so
So
it is,
that's where I got the notification from. It was from YouTube. I got the notification because I was
yes,
trying to look through Facebook and I go, oh, it's not, I don't see it. So it was YouTube. I got a notification because I subscribed and clicked that little bell. So when
yes.
every time your show comes on, I get the notification.
I kind of
So
wondered because you said Facebook, and I was like, I don't know if he did though, because I
yeah,
don't stream there.
so that's where I was confused because I
Yeah.
saw your name come up on your for the show, but um, yeah. So Parapost Network Central was just basically a page I built for Parapost Network, the app,
Okay.
because I wanted to get people over to Parapost Network, the app. So I
Right.
built the Parapost Network Central, and then it turned into bringing all these podcasts to the page where people would have another page to stream to, because it's hard when you're starting at zero on a brand new page and you're not having anybody come in your room.
Right.
So that's why I built Parapost Network Central to bring. And we, at one point when we first started, I think we had like 40 different podcasts.
Wow.
Right
Okay.
now, I think we have about 24, 25,
Okay.
somewhere in that area of different podcasts. And
And
yeah,
just
so
I just so everybody can show her the app too.
yeah. Now I will let people know. I will let people know that is going to be coming down,
Okay.
um, because we're going to be rebuilding it, and we're going to
That's
make it into a platform where you're going to be able to live stream on that page.
okay. And I think that's what Matt was trying to say
Yeah.
last week. He
Yeah.
said that you guys were thinking about revamping the whole Parapost situation.
Yeah,
So
so we plan to bring that app down, and we're going to redo the whole app, the whole page, and make it a true social media page where people can go to and they can do their live streaming, they can do their podcasts, they can do everything they can do on Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever. So that's what that platform is going to be. And eventually what's going to happen is the Global Ghost Hunt will only be on Parapost Network,
which would be better because there's so
which
many that it's like it's
yeah,
hard to keep up with it all.
yeah, and then it will be on Parapost Network, the app, and then it will probably also be on YouTube. It won't be on Facebook anymore because I'll be honest, Facebook really doesn't like pushing out stuff on ghosts. They
Go
don't like
figure.
pushing it out,
Go
and
figure.
the only reason why we get so many views on the Global Ghost on Facebook page when it comes to the lives for the
Mhm.
investigation is because it's shared 200 times. you
Right.
know so that's why it gets viewed so much on the Facebook page, but eventually all that will come down, because eventually I don't think you're going to be able to do live streaming on Facebook anymore anyways. I think
I
that's eventually going to disappear.
It said I
So
could have sworn I saw something about that already, like a news article or something about they were going to be taking away live stream of some sort, but I can't remember what the
they're going to be
relation was.
taking on your personal page, not your business pages. On your personal page, they're going to be taking away live videos that are older than 30 days.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happening June 21st.
Which drives me crazy because I literally did an actual live stream for the first time, even before all this ever happened. And I was so proud of
Yeah.
myself because I did it, because I am not my husband by any means. And um and I found a way to make it save forever.
Yeah.
And now they're like, no, we're gonna take that away.
Yeah.
That's
So,
my first one.
well, I understand why they're doing it because I know the industry because of Parapost Network, the app. I know a lot more than I did before having
Server
this.
room.
It like, even though they have their own servers and stuff like that, and they have all that stuff, it costs a lot of money to even keep those videos on there.
Yes.
And we're talking how many hundreds of millions of people. Well, how many people are on Facebook? 700 million, six
I
hundred
have no
million.
idea, but practically
Um,
everyone.
yeah. And for me to do live on the new app or the new platform Parapost, it's going to be close to 20 to 30,000 a month for me
Woo!
to keep that going. So, like, it's not chump change. Like, I'm going to be spending $200,000-300,000 just on the app.
That's insane.
Yes, it is insane. But at the end of the day, when it comes into advertising and sponsors and everything that you see on Facebook is what we're going to be doing, like with groups and advertising and sponsors and all that stuff. And that's where Facebook makes their money, through
Right.
advertising and people boosting their page.
Yes.
And that's where they make all their money. And
Yes.
that's where Parapost is going to make all its money.
Gotcha.
So from doing that, but obviously with a paranormal page, you're not going to have 800 million people.
Yeah.
You're
No.
probably going to have like maybe 4 or 5 million,
Right.
maybe a little bit
If
more
that.
than that, if
I
that.
mean,
But
well, we have to consider that we are United States. So I mean, here, the people here alone, you're going to have a very limited view because people are limited viewed. Does that make
yeah,
sense? So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
So I
and I-
expect forecast once we get out our first year. I forecast that probably, if the site does as well I think it's going to be, we'll probably get around 1 million the first year
okay.
of being live the way we're going to be live. And I'm hoping by the 5th year, we'll probably be at 10 to 20 million.
And the good
And
thing is when you have those types of views, though, you can easily get bigger and better sponsors too.
that's it. So we will be growing the platform through sponsors, advertisers, people boosting their own pages, people advertising their own groups, because
Right.
that's how Facebook makes all their money.
Yes. Yep.
And they make what? I don't
Too
I don't
much.
even
Too much
over
money.
a billion, over probably a billion a year.
Yeah.
So, but and that's also going to take a team as well. I'm going to have my own servers as well. And I don't know if you know this, but a server, just to put it in perspective, a
No, I
server,
know.
how much servers cost?
Yes, I actually own a computer repair business. We have multiple servers that we have to store customer information on. It's
Yeah.
constantly, they have to pay us monthly to have their information on it because it's constant upkeep, constant
Yeah.
maintenance.
Well, the
And
type of servers I would need, they're going to cost me about
I was
$50,000.
going to say yours is going to be way more expensive than
Yeah.
ours.
So, and that's one row.
Right.
I'm gonna have to
Right.
have several rows,
Yeah. You're going to end up
but
essentially
and
with a
there
supercomputer.
and then on top of that, I'm gonna have to have outsource servers in other countries.
Yep.
Like I would have to have one in Australia. I would have to have one in Europe.
Yep.
They would be all over the world basically, so people get the proper service as they would if they were in Canada. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's not a cheap venture. It
No.
really is not.
Right.
But at the but I think it's a direction that I wanted to go, that I've had a dream of going.
Right.
So my dream is to get Parapost Network up to like X status, or it won't be anything like Facebook, or maybe it will. I don't know, but I want to get it up on those echelons of a famous platform that people can go to, and just not about spirits and UFOs and all that stuff, but it would be other stuff on the platform as well, right?
Right.
It would be a public platform that everybody could go to,
Right.
and and there won't be any fact checking. Free speech is free speech over at Parapost Network. So, like
That's going to
obviously,
get ugly real quick.
like I'm not talking like porn or anything like that. Like that will be deleted quickly. But at the end of the day, free speech is free speech, and and I believe on all those things. But anyways, Parapost Network will eventually come down, and we will bring up the whole new platform. And that, for example, yourself, you'll be able to go live on Investigations or a podcast.
Right.
And we'll have third-party streaming. Like I know Facebook has gotten rid of that, or is eventually going to get rid of all of that. But we'll have third-party streaming. So if you have StreamYard, Restream, or whatever platform you have, you'll be able to connect it to Parapost Network Central, or Parapost Network, the app. So,
Gotcha.
but that is the big goal, and that goal will happen. It
Okay.
will happen eventually. It was supposed to happen this year because I possibly have investors. So it will happen. And when it does happen, obviously the announcement will be made that it's being taken down, and then it will be brought back up. But it's going to take about 6 months to build. So
Right.
I was
Well, that
hoping to
doesn't
have it
take
for
very much time. I do
no,
that.
I was hoping to have it done this year, but it looks like it's going to happen next year.
Okay.
So, and if it does happen next year, we'll have the Global Ghost Hunt on there as well as probably YouTube, and it won't be on Facebook.
Okay.
So I just don't think Facebook is the proper platform for Global Ghost Hunt, to be honest.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I don't like, I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, Bryan, when is this platform going to be ready that you're talking about so we can go live on there? I go, well, do you have $500,000 that you can give me? Because that's what it's going to freaking cost me.
Yeah.
So, but it's good. I got investors now that believe what's the word I'm looking for? Believe in my vision,
Yes.
and they love the idea. They love everything about it, and they want to be a part of it, and
Right.
which is great. But it's a matter of sitting down, working out a contract, going over the money, and when they want to do it, they know where they can find me.
Right.
So yeah, so that's where we are with Parapost. But Parapost Network Central, if you get to that point where you're able to add more pages to your live,
Yeah.
come over to Parapost Network Central. And anybody else who has a podcast out there, come on over to Parapost Network Central. Now
Yeah.
we are having some, and this is bad, I shouldn't really say this, but we have been having some issues with errors when people go live. So when you're scheduling a live, it shows an error. But if you just go live,
Yeah.
there's no issues.
I
No
don't
issues
schedule
at
it
all.
anyway because you
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen. So
Yeah, vision goal. The vision of that goal is going to happen. When it happens, that's another story. I'm hoping next year.
right.
So, and if it happens next year, then the real work begins.
Well, let's hope it does. Let's hope it
Yeah,
does because
yeah,
you do have a great vision because it does help a lot of people, and it's not just us group. It, like you said, it is the other places too that are at risk of being lost forever.
yeah,
And I, for one, am one of those people. I like to walk in historical towns just to touch the buildings
yeah, yeah.
because I'm
Me
like,
too.
look, I'm
Yeah,
touching a piece of history. You know?
yeah. Like when I was in England a couple of years ago, my the number one spot that I wanted to go to was Sherwood Forest, and I got to go, and that tree
Yeah.
that is the main focal point of Sherwood Forest. It's over 1,000 years old.
Oh my
I
god.
got to touch that tree.
I would lose my freaking mind.
Oh my God. And the amount of activity around that tree was incredible.
I'm
The
sure.
energy around that tree was just phenomenal. But I got to go to Sherwood Forest, which
It's
was a
amazing.
huge thing on my bucket list.
Yeah.
And when I stepped into that forest, first of all, I went, okay, well, this is not what I expected. And but when I saw that tree, I was going, holy crap, that's it.
That's what it was
That's
about.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. And now there's a fence around it, and we hot that fence. And
I would have too. I would have too.
no, it was a short fence. It was like a wooden fence, and it was very short. It was only like 2.5 feet high. So
They
there
wouldn't
was
do that if they didn't want you to jump the damn fence.
exactly. No, I did not wear tights. But but that was talked about that we were going to wear tights at Sherwood Forest and film it. But me and Lex were, and but touching that tree was absolutely incredible. It really was. It was probably one of the highlights of my trip to the UK. And I went to some pretty phenomenal spots
Did you
in the
go
UK.
to the cliche Stonehenge?
No, I didn't go there. I didn't go there. But you can't get near it anyways.
I know. It's one of
Uh,
those things that I would take the risk and I would just run.
oh, would you? Yeah.
I sure
Um,
would.
yeah, we had Vicky, you have no idea the energy of that place. And in fact, when we left that tree and we started walking in another direction towards a spot where apparently the Vikings had settled,
Yeah.
we captured an EVP that was absolutely incredible off the SB7. That was amazing.
Was it in
And
English?
it was in English, and I forget what actually was said, but with the response we got back was just incredible. And I got that clip. I should show you that clip, but it it was incredible. Like the whole Sherwood Forest experience was mind blowing for me,
That is
and
amazing.
And the stories are true about Robin Hood, but he wasn't a very nice guy.
Yeah,
He stole from the rich and just saved it. He kept it to himself. He didn't give it to the poor.
yeah. No, I've heard things
So,
like that.
yeah.
There's this show out called Grimm. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but it takes like fairy tale stories and actually
Okay.
tells the dark side to it all kind of
Oh,
thing,
okay. Okay.
So it
No,
talks
I've never
about
seen that.
Hansel and Gretel,
Yeah.
and the witch, and it just it kind of puts a modern spin to it all, and it's but most fairy tales are dark.
Yeah.
They're very dark.
When I asked the question on how many spirits are around this tree,
Hmm.
I actually got a response back through the SB7. It said 40.
40. My
40.
God.
So the energy around that tree was incredible. And the tree is so old that it actually has like all this these stilts that are holding up the branches.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
actually got fiberglass inside of the tree, like in the middle of the tree, because you can actually go into the tree if you were crawling, but it's got fiberglass all around the inside. So you can see that they're really trying to preserve it. But all these stilts, I have a picture. There's a picture on Facebook of this tree and all these stilts that are holding up the branches because it's so
Amazing.
big and so heavy. Like the branches look like they're going to just fall apart if they didn't have those stilts there.
It's
And
amazing though that they put so much effort into preserving that one piece
yeah,
of history when you
it's
can't find that
if
anywhere else.
if anybody in this room or you or Ruben get the chance to go to the UK, you have to go to the Sherwood Forest because as soon as you
Definitely.
walk in, the energy, even if you're not a medium or psychic or anything like that or an empath,
You can
you
just
feel
feel it.
the energy. You feel it.
Right.
Because Lex is nothing like that. And he felt it as soon as we walked in. He goes, it's so different as soon as you start walking into the forest.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Oh,
So
I would love
put on your bucket list the Sherwood Forest because it's an amazing, amazing place.
I would love to. I think it was our very first interview with you, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact, a couple of years ago or so. I my bucket list though does include Ireland. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The
Yeah.
history there is just
Yeah.
so dense and rich, and I want to go see the ruins of all these castles. I don't want to see an active castle. No, I don't want that. I want to go see what's dilapidated and what's not going to last much longer. And because eventually they're going to be gone. But um,
Mm,
yeah.
no,
So
not
actually, I was
yet.
going to ask you about the canal also.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. But I will.
Okay.
I will. Are they talking about the lift locked, right?
Yes, she
Because
is.
there's another canal that's on YouTube. Um, Another canal that is not too far from me. That is crazy haunted. Crazy haunted. We gotta I've always said this. I'm not a huge fan of the K2, but the amount of activity we're getting on the K2 that night, like it wasn't lighting up to like a few colors. It was going to
Right.
red.
Right. Right.
And it was like we'd ask a question, it would answer another question, it would answer another question, it would answer. It was crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy, crazy. Some of the experiences that I've had being a paranormal investigator for what now 14 years.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's
I'm
been.
I'm not really sure what Vicky means by this. I don't know who she's talking to, but
You need to come back on the show. I'm not sure.
was
Where's
that?
Sammy?
I don't
Who
think it's
shows
you.
that?
I know. I don't.
Oh, you mean this show maybe?
Is that what you mean, Vicky? Him coming back on here? Oh, probably to talk about if you go back to the lock lift, probably, and show us some of your clips from the Sherwood
Yeah,
series.
I'd love to. I could show you. I got so many clips. I got so many clips. I don't even know. Can you share clips through here? I think you can. Or is it
Um,
because of the
I can.
free version?
You can literally share your screen, whatever you have on your stuff. You can share it.
Let me just see if I can find something because I have a few clips from um uh there he goes. I have some clips from the U. Oh, This is I can show you actually. I actually have the clip of the response that Lex got from the Sherwood Forest that I was talking about.
Okay.
I have the clip right in front of me. Actually, I just
Okay.
popped it up. Let me see if
So
I can share it. I know how to
that,
do it.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So let me go. Let me go entire screen. Make sure the audio's on.
I'm going to mute myself. Okay.
Why does it go over? Why is it going over to that screen? That's weird. Let me just move it over to my second screen because I have a second screen here. Let me see.
I
Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to put it on here and see if this works. There it is. Why isn't it playing? It's weird.
yeah, I have no idea.
Let me do this. I'm going to stop sharing for. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Oh, it says.
Are you hiding from us? Are you hiding from us?
I don't know why that keeps on doing that.
And I didn't hear a response. Did it have the response? I didn't hear.
Oh, not yet. It's when Lex asks the question.
I was gonna say I thought you said Lex, but maybe
Yeah. My thing keeps on. Let me just check this for a minute. Okay, stop. Okay. Let me unplug this. Okay. Oh, what happened there?
I don't know. It looks like your desktop.
Can you still see me? Yeah, my computer's doing all kinds of weird things. Just hold on.
Okay.
Why is my camera not working? Oh, there we go. I know why. My camera is not working. Hello.
That's weird. I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, it says camera's off.
That is really weird.
Wait. Okay, just hold on. Here it comes. There we go. Okay. Let me go back. Let me go to. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I'm going to go to my. This screen right here, the front screen in front of me,
Okay.
because sometimes I think with the second screen, it makes it a little more difficult. Let me turn on the audio. Okay, here we go. So that's weird. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so let me go down. Clips. Here we go. See if this works. Come on. What the hell? Technology, eh?
Yep.
Let me see if I can play the. Let me see if I can play this one. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working. I don't know why. I think it's Restream. It's not the greatest for sharing videos. This is what I'm scared about when I do the global ghost hunt. Yeah, it doesn't want to share it doesn't want to play the videos. That's okay. Maybe next time we'll share. Maybe next time we'll share the videos. But
Yeah,
the one I was going to show you is the one at Sherwood Forest but it doesn't seem to be working. So I can't believe how well my dog's been. He's been behind me the whole time, not
Quiet. My dogs are
He's been
asleep.
great. Yeah.
After the barking, I put them in
Yeah.
their bed. They're in bed now. So, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it started. Yeah, it started to, but it didn't keep going. Okay. Well, we've been going on for
No,
over 2 hours, so we'll probably go ahead and get off. I still haven't eaten dinner or made anything
it's
yet.
funny though, eh? It doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't feel like we've been going that long. Yeah, it's
Nope.
been great. Been great. I appreciate you asking me to come on the show.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on for real. But we'll have you back again. So once we get this whole screen sharing thing figured out a little better, and then
Yeah.
you can show us because that's exciting. So
I'll show you I got tons of clips. I got tons of clips that I can show you.
so everybody needs to come back because we're just gonna watch clips. There's no talking aloud. Everybody be quiet. We're watching clips. So all right, well, Bryan, thanks so much
That's
for coming
awesome. But
on.
thank you.
And everybody, you guys have a great night. And remember, this Thursday we have our cryptid show coming on with Steven. So tune in then. So, and Vicky says Max is a good boy. All right,
He
bye,
is a
guys.
good boy. He is a good boy.